you.
Okay. Harley?
Chair DeLauro, Chair Miller, members of the committee, it's truly an honor to be here. And it is an honor to be with this panel listening to these extraordinary stories. When Janice Bobholt started, she said, "This is the story not just of us, but of all Wisconsin workers." But isn't it also the story of America? These stories in this panel of hard work, dedication, compassion, hasn't that fueled our economic growth? Hasn't it made us a decent society? And haven't unions played a role in that? Because we're truly at a turning point right now. It is an outrageous moment. The question in terms of labor relations is, are we going to move forward or do we go back to 1931? Because that's really the choice. And it isn't just the labor relations of 1931, it is the kind of society we were in the midst of this depression. The assault today on public sector unions clearly impacts unions, but it is an assault on the middle class, and it is an assault on an American democracy as well. Tom summarized it very nicely. What we're looking at today is union busting masquerading as budget cutting, and that impacts us all. So I'd like to speak very briefly about the middle class and about American democracy. In post-World War II America, strong unions forged a link between rising productivity and rising wages. It gave us a middle class. That went on for 3 decades. In the 3 decades following that up until today, weaker unions saw that link between rising productivity fray. If these laws go unchecked, it will be fractured. What does that mean? When you have the link between productivity going up and wages rising, median family incomes doubled between the end of World War II and the mid-1970s. Since then, we've had the productivity, but median family incomes have been stagnant or declining. Where do those gains go? To the top 1%. That's not inevitable. It is not the kind of society we want to see. It is not a society that will be economically vibrant. It will be a highly polarized country. And that leads me to the second point. Really, American democracy is at stake. We don't often think about it in this way, but free unions are the cornerstone of a free society. The First Amendment gives us freedom of assembly and freedom of speech. Unions translate that to the workplace. The first thing dictators do is they get rid of free unions. And in our political life today, unions are vital for the checks and balances of a free society. If you like unions, great. If you don't like them, it's still great because we need that diversity. Corporations have no problem finding representation, but workers do. Unions are their voice. But unions have been the voice not simply of workers. Over the last 70 years, they've been the voice of the middle class. They've been the voice of the dispossessed. When Lynn spoke about the Reverend Martin Luther King and Memphis, his greatness and his vision and his energy were there. He was supporting a union, and unions were supporting him. So our choice is, if we want a strong recovery, if we want a broadly shared prosperity, if we want a democratic society, and if we want a decent society, then we need free unions and we need effective unions as part of this American mosaic. Thank you.